Welcome back to the Painted Peach. My name is Mary, and today we are in Santa Claus is Coming to Town, hosted by Up All Night DIY. I'm merely Melissa, and Shabby Meets Bling. Let's get started with project number one. I am updoing or upcycling a Halloween frame that I did this year, and I'm going from this black and gold to some very merry Santa Claus red, and I have to do a lot of coats to go over this black. I don't know why I didn't put white down first, but you live, you learn. So I make sure I get enough coats on here, and at the end of this painting this, you'll see me add some cornstarch, and that's because the cornstarch kind of helps that paint dry a little quicker onto that frame. Oh, maybe I didn't add the cornstarch on here. Anyways, but it makes it adhere a little better. Same thing with baking soda. So now I'm just using some scrapbook paper to go over that kitty cat with the pumpkin that I had painted, and we're making sure everything's dry. Oh, I did add the cornstarch. Here it is. So this part, adding the cornstarch and then brushing it away, really helped this paint adhere better. Don't ask me why. I experimented one day and I figured it out. So that's that. So yeah, I did it. And then I touched up any areas that I wanted the white not to show. And then I just plopped in my little board in the back of my frame. And then we make sure everything's good and dry. Now I'm grabbing a printable from my shop. This is a painting of Santa Claus that Corey from Creative Roots Art did, and we have the printables in our shop. That link will be in my description, so you can get your Santa Claus prints. And this one I shrunk down really tiny so I could fit it in this frame, and I kind of wish I went a little bit bigger, but it's okay, it turns out good in the end. Now I'm just using some scrap rice paper that I have, and I'm putting some greeneries and some berries and stuff around, and I just needed a little bit of stuff going around the outside, some color. That red and white stripe was a bit much for me, but I think it turns out really good. So now I'm just grunging it up with some dark wax. And now I'm grabbing out some of my fabric that I also have in my shop. You can find fabric bundles in there. I'm also going to use some greenery on this that you can find in my shop as well. And you can grab all that out of my description. There'll be links. I'm just making a little rag bow and tying it off with a little piece of the string of the fabric that I had, and I'll just trim it up, and we'll also make a little bow out of some of the red that I have in one of the bundles as well. Here you'll see my greenery, and then I'm going to be using some hot glue to get that greenery on. So I put it down, and then I add some hot glue, and then we add our coffee stained ribbon and then our red check ribbon on top of that. Super simple little craft, but turned out amazing. I really love the way these little Dollar Tree frames turn out like they are something out of a major department store, and you can make them look any way you would like. We went from Halloween to Christmas just like that. Here we are with another one of the Dollar Tree things that I did for fall, and we're going to paint over it. This one was a mirror, and I didn't have the little screwdriver I needed to take the back out, so I just went right in and painted over everything white. I do end up doing the frame and everything. Um, Again, this frame is that plastic like the other one, so you could use that cornstarch on it once you have a few coats on there and make sure it stays. But I'm using some antique white on the whole thing, and we are going to turn this into Christmas decor as well. Now that I have everything the antique white, I'm going in with my dark wax, and I'm just going over the whole background. I want this to be under my green that I'm going to use. So several different layers you'll see on here, but there's a whole system to it, and if I didn't do the layers, it wouldn't look as good. So just trust the process. I'm going back in with some of that antique white and lightening up that background just a tad bit, and wiping it back. And there's my little bird, my rice paper bird that I'm going to be using. I do believe that printable is in my shop as well. If it is, I'll put the link in the description for you to grab it. Now I'm going in with my Thicket over everything. I did put some wax down in certain areas so that we could pull up and make it chippy. And I'm going to dry it really well and then go in with my tape and pull off some of the paint. I'm just using regular packing tape and laying it down, making sure it adheres, and just pulling it straight up, and it gives that old worn chippy look to the background. Now I'm just trying to figure out the placement of my rice paper bird, and I will be adding it on with some matte medium, and I'll go over the whole bird and background as well. Once I get that on and dried, I'm going to use some paint to make the branch that the bird is on a little longer so it goes to each side, and I'll try to make it match as good as I can. Right now I'm using some of the white antique color to go in around and make some touch-ups around the frame and kind of bring it in a little bit on the corners. And now I'm going to take my red and paint the frame all around. I'm going to make it this beautiful red color, and it does take a few coats to do this as well. Here's where I draw out the branch and make it connect to each side of the frame, and then I go in with my brown and make the whole branch the same color and try to make it look as much like a branch as I can. Now I'm just going in with a bit of white and putting some snow on that branch and on our red bird. And you'll see in a moment that some of my background is going to be a little bit more filled in. I did try to use a stencil on this and it pulled up my paint, so I had to go in and add some of the green paint back in. Right now I'm doing an ink pad around it to add a little bit of black on the frame. So there you see my background's a little bit more green. I'm going in with a paint marker and painting out Season's Greetings, and that will pretty much be it for our Redbird framed picture. And let's move on to project number 3. I had already started this project on Facebook, and I used one of our tracers you've seen there to map out my little gingerbread man. And now I'm just doing the finishing touches on him, drawing out some eyes and adding in lettering and such. So I'm just going to leave you with that. There's not much really to explain, so I'll be back. I'm just doing the finishing touches, adding some eyelashes and highlights and things like that. This seems like a good time to tell you to make sure you check out my description. Go over and follow the hosts and everybody in the playlist today. Everyone's very talented and you don't want to miss a thing. Alright, here is our final reveal of each of our projects. Thank you for joining me, and I hope that if you like what you see, you'll subscribe. This has been Santa's Coming to Town, and as always, stay peachy.